Hey, welcome to Book Invasion. My name is Scott, and welcome. Today we're going to be doing the Still a Newbie tag. I was tagged by both Savvy and I think Nicole from I_read past my bedtime. And so I thought I would give it a go. For those who know or don't know, my original newbie tag was a bit of a smash hit. So let's get right into it.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation.
Number one, why do you still consider yourself a newbie? Well, I think my first video was posted in August, and so it's only been about 7 months. I think maybe after a year, you're not really considered new anymore. I don't know. How do you guys feel, all you old Booktube veterans? Number two, who were some of your greatest inspirations for joining Booktube? You know, I think the original idea of me joining was just between conversations with my coworkers. One of the people I work with, she was watching Booktube quite a bit, and she would send videos to me, or she would, you know, kind of hate watch people, and you know, you hate watch, you all do it. You gotta hate watch. It's a good exercise in your emotions. And so she would send me some videos, and I would watch some here and there, and, you know, be like, I felt like there was discussions that were missing about books that I liked. And so they're like, well, why don't you start a channel? And I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't know if I have time. And to me, I thought it would be easier than making like a blog, because I'd run a music blog in the past that took up a lot of time. And I was like, well, if I just talk at a camera, that can be like a one and done thing. I talk, I edit, I post, and it should be shorter than me sitting down and coming up with ideas to make a blog post and all that. But that's not entirely, it doesn't work out that way exactly, for reasons of editing. And so, you know, I was just kind of like, oh, you know, maybe I should start a channel. I'll talk about the books that we talk about here at work. You know, my friends can come and see what I'm reading, and I can advocate kind of for the books that I like and authors and things like that. It'd be great. And so then I just kind of picked up the camera and started talking about, you know, the books that I like, and hence started my channel. That was just stemmed out of a conversation between me and a few coworkers. Number three, what surprised you the most after joining Booktube?
We interrupt our program with a special bulletin.
If you are expressing your opinion in any way, whether it is verbally, in a printed format, on radio, television, cable, or a website or blog, it's a good idea to have an opinion disclaimer. Even if it is not your purpose to upset a person or business, they can spin your opinion into something that it is not.
Now, back to our show.
Well, I was surprised, you know, by kind of the lack of people in my age group, the lack of people kind of talking about the books that I enjoy. And I thought, you know, Booktube would be a cool place where every aspect in books are discussed, and it is. But when you first come into the realm, you don't find that. And so I was surprised kind of by the lack of book reviews. I was surprised that it was content that was more created for the Booktube community than I feel it could be created for people outside of the community. That kind of surprised me. I didn't know what really a tag was before I joined, and I saw a lot of those, and I didn't really watch them because I was like, I don't want a tag, I want somebody to tell me how this book was. Or there were wrap-ups and TBRs, and I didn't really understand really what those were, and so I didn't watch those. I just wanted somebody to talk about and tell me about what the book that I wanted to read was about. So I was surprised that I wasn't able to find kind of the things that I thought I would find, I guess. It was an expectation of me where people would be broadcasting and making content that is more towards the non-subscribers, more towards the general reading population, where some Joe Schmo goes to the library and they're on the computer and they want to look at a book, so they go on YouTube of all places. I mean, to me, YouTube obviously isn't a place where people gravitate towards for book reviews in the first place, so that, you know, it's not a bad thing, but it's just kind of a fact that, you know, people my age and people who are looking for books usually go to like New York Times and all the print copies and all the blogs and Kirkus and all those different places, and they look up, you know, text-based book reviews. YouTube isn't really a hub of book review content. Yes, would you agree or disagree, Tom? Let me know. But I feel like if someone were to look up X book title by somebody and they click enter, obviously you would get hits of so on and so forth of blogs and things like that. But eventually in those search results, you would get a YouTube video covering that exact book and title. But I was surprised that that's not really what I had found. And what I feel is funny is that people they're not scared, but they're hesitant to do book reviews because, you know, they say, I suck at book reviews. All I want to say is that this book was great and I love it. And book reviews don't get views as much as the other staple content does. But first of all, you don't suck at book reviews. Nobody sucks at a book review. You don't, listen, you don't suck at a book review. If you like the book, if you don't like it, if there's things you want to talk about, then make a video about that book and just put it out there. Just say, this is me, either discussion video, this is a review, or let's talk about X book, and just put it in its own video with its own book title in there, so that people can find it. If it's in your wrap-up, you don't have the book titles in your video description, and the only way people know you talk about it is if they watch the video and they can't see it in the thumbnail, you lose that audience of people who are just kind of, you know, desperate just to know someone else who'd read a book that you liked, but they would never know unless they were your subscriber, unless they watched all of your videos and saw your TBR, and they know you would see it in the wrap-up. That surprised me. I mean, that's something where I thought that would be a basic kind of thing that would occur more here, is that we would see more reviews than we do the other stuff, because the reviews are what captures the people who are looking for that book. And we're all readers in Booktube, but we're all already in Booktube. Like the community of Booktube already are the readers. What we want to get, and what I feel in my channel is what I want to get, is to grab the person who's on the fence about reading the book, to grab the first person who maybe hasn't heard about it before and had seen it from a related video. You know, I want to get the people that are outside of our circle of Booktube, our circle of readers ourselves, and find the people who are kind of looking to find something, give them a title, give them a description, give them an in-depth review from what I like or don't like, what the book's about, what are some topics it talks about, and have that on a silver platter for them and say, here's everything you need, here's what I thought about it. And, you know, to me, that's what Booktube is to me. And that's kind of what I've made my channel to be like, you know, be the change, and so on and so forth. So that's what surprised me kind of after joining, is that not people, but I mean, think about, if you have a Booktube channel and you're watching this, think about what you create for the community itself and inside of Booktube versus what you create for the people outside of Booktube. And just kind of, you know, I encourage you to think about that when you're making videos or making video ideas. If you want, it's up to you. It's entirely up to you. It's your channel.
They can spin your opinion into something that it is not.
That's just kind of what goes on in my mind. I was surprised about kind of the visibility of the Newbie Tag. That's kind of something where people actively search out, people actively comment on. It surprised me that that's such a staple gateway into the community. That's a way you get your notoriety, you get your subscribers, you reply to your comments, you find out who's gonna do the Newbie Tags, you get your first like 10 or 20 subscribers, and then you get your comments and you subscribe to the people who commented on you. If you don't have that, if you don't do that, then you're just kind of blowing in the wind until somebody does a shout out and say, hey, good job. And you get notoriety that way and your channel grows. It surprised me how much the community is intertwined and how much we all talk to each other. There's a lot of activity on book Twitter and things like that. There's probably private conversations that happen all the time. That surprised me too when I came to Booktube and YouTube in general. This is my first foray into YouTube as a whole. But the connections and the way that the community is intertwined with each other and how we all talk to each other kind of surprised me too, that news travels fast. And the other thing that surprised me is that how long freaking editing takes on these videos. It takes a long time. Number 4, what lessons have you learned since joining Booktube? I've kind of learned that you need to earn your right to be able to make criticisms to the community and have it be well received. Otherwise, you're just an asshole. You know, but once you get out there and you meet people and they kind of get a feel for what you're like, then you can, you know, start taking jabs and people will laugh. Look at, there you go again with the jokes.
There's no such thing as jokes anymore.
Yeah, we live in a post-joke world.
Or otherwise people will just be like, this guy is being nasty. Let's take a nap. That was a lesson that I've learned. Number 5, what fears do you still have about your channel? I don't have many fears about the channel. You know, this is a hobby to me, and as I said, you know, I try to make content that's accessible to people outside of the community. So I mean, if everyone goes and unsubscribes from my channel, you know, I'm not gonna cry about it, because the viewers and the subscribers are not mutually exclusive. You know, you can have 50 subscribers, or you can have 500 subscribers, but your viewers may not be the same people. They may just be people stumbling over the video. Your subscribers may see you in the feed and they'll just skip you over whenever you post. So I mean, I'm not focused on the numbers because this is just something that I want to be out there for people to find, regardless. And being in the community too, it really, I hope that people can make that disconnect, that, you know, when you lose subscribers, it's not a slight against you. Like, you just gotta let it go, and I don't, and I feel that people take those numbers way too seriously and to heart too much. But it's not about the numbers. To me, it's just about the content, and to do something that I'm proud of. And whether or not it gets views or I gain subscribers here and there, it's not about that. It's about putting awareness to these things that you like, and hopefully someone else will like them too. Number 6, what kind of content would you like to create that you haven't yet? I would really, I would like to do kind of author interviews. I would like to do some skits and things like that. Join a group live show or something and get a group of people on a video where we can all just sit around and talk. Just something like that. I have other ideas that probably won't come to fruition, but there's a lot of things that I like to do, because right now I'm just doing reviews and tags, which I'm fine with. You know, that's all I really plan to do. Number 7, who have been some of the greatest supporters of your channel? You know, a lot of people. I've gotten shout outs here and there from different people. You know, if you've been a supporter of my channel, thank you graciously. You know who you are. And number 8, tag your faves. Totally faves. Yeah, I'll tag some people who I think maybe are still newbies. So anyway, that's my still a newbie tag. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Just turn out the lights and the party's over, and tomorrow we'll start the same old shit again.